All right, we're talking Texas weekend here. I know, it's a bit barren. I know, something's wrong, man. I'm telling you, don't launch that shuttle. There's something wrong with the O-rings. I'm going to be out of town this weekend. I've said that multiple times, but I'm just letting you know again. I'm going to be out of town. I hit the road tomorrow. Probably going to be on the road from tomorrow, probably until next Wednesday, just doing trips back and forth. So it's not even like, oh, I'm going to try and work on the sheet. No, I'm going to be on the road Saturday and Sunday. Luckily, it ain't just a one-man crew here. It ain't just a one-man job. When you support me, when you join the Patreon and support me, you support Pearce, you support the work that we do. So Pearce, he's got the sheets covered this weekend, all right? You're still going to get your practice data. You're still going to get the projections that he does in the sheet. You're still going to have the sheet to work with. I just won't be doing projections because I'm not really playing this weekend, okay? I'll do like one line to keep the my stupid achievement crowns or whatever for DraftKings going. But in terms of putting a ton of time and effort into Texas, I just won't be able to. I'll be on the road, okay? So just giving you a heads up there, but Pearce has got you covered. The sheets still got you covered if you're looking for just an idea of how to build lines. Maybe you want to still look at the optimizer in that, what that says. If you want to use the MME tool, all that's still there. I just won't be doing projections this weekend because I will be on the road. Wanted to make this really quick, or wanted to make this video rather. I won't really talk Xfinity. I mean, Xfinity is just kind of trusting who's been good at the intermediates this year, what they can back up in practice, and then based on kind of where they're starting, you can kind of get that. I mean, we've been through this song and dance before at Texas. When we look at the Cup Series, now look, I understand. I'm with you, all right? Look, what we are feeling is very, very similar to the Desert Fox. Okay, when Rommel had to retreat from Africa with his tail between his legs. Okay, that we feel the same way. Okay, Bristol was a bit rough. All right, we understand. A lot of mechanical issues. TRD teams were just falling apart. All the Fords kept blowing tires. Literally every team had issues. All right, Bristol was just. I mean, that was pretty brutal. Okay, let's move on. Let's keep going to Texas. I know we've already been here once this year with the All-Star race. We had tire issues. Don't think that's going to be an issue, but we'll see if these teams do that. And really, quick little victory lap. My my little picture, my video that I made like the second day of the year, like January 2nd or something, when I was like, this car isn't ready. These are the issues we're going to have. Man, it's wild. It's like I just made that video yesterday. We're clearly seeing issues. We understand that NASCAR is just not going to do anything, so we might as well not even care. We might as well not even bother worrying about it, okay? What if somebody blows a tire? What if somebody blows a motor? Dude, we can't project that, so let's just act like they don't exist, all right? If it strikes down a driver, which we've already had that happen multiple times this year, it happens, okay? When we're looking at Texas, who do I think is going to be up there? I would not be shocked to see somebody late in this race take 2 tires and stay out, because you can't pass here. Take no tires and stay out when the rest of the field pits. It would not shock me to have somebody who just doesn't deserve this win to stay out and gain track position. Track position is going to be huge. All right, so yes, we want to look at the pit data. But Brandon, what about Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin swapping pit crews? Yeah, I think that's good. Hamlin's getting a crew that has been one of the fastest in the circuit, in the series and stuff. No, but what about Hamlin speeds a lot. What if Hamlin speeds? He just has so many pit road issues. What if he speeds? Does that nullify that? Well, dude, I cannot control Hamlin speed on pit lane. He either will or he won't. Okay, just like Alex Bowman, he'll either wreck or he doesn't. Anybody here. Bubba Wallace will either not win the race or it'll rain. Like, I can't project this stuff, all right? So when it comes to Hamlin swapping pit crews with Kyle Busch, I think that's good. I think that's a plus. I don't think it's going to relay like a huge change because Hamlin was already up there all the time. JGR pit crew is already fast. It's not like a gigantic increase in his, efficiency on pit road, but it is certainly a bump. Is it taking, a gigantic amount away from Kyle Busch? I don't think so. I mean, that crew was still good. They're just putting, they're kind of moving all the eggs towards Hamlin to try and at least have him run for the championship. That's mainly what it is. All right. Why am I talking about these guys so much? Is because Toyota's who we're going to want to play. Hate to tell you that. We've been here all year. If we can, and if you watch Pearce's video, and I understand it was a bit of a rant, but he's speaking the truth. Okay. A lot of these guys are getting hit by lightning strikes. A lot of these guys are just getting hit with, poor finishes or bad luck out of nothing. Like nothing that they're doing is causing that. They just end up, blowing a tire. They make a bad call on pit road. Something like that happens, okay? So when we're looking at where the people are in terms of speed, which is what I chase, I find it very difficult to, like, chase guys who are going to, like, do great as, like, a fourth, like, target. Or not a fourth target, but it's hard for me to build and project races when, like, the top 3 projected guys get taken out in wrecks. I'm not going to perform well in those races, okay? And so, like, for me, Ryan Blaney, okay, yeah, sure, he won the All-Star race. Do you know how he won the All-Star race? Because he stayed out, He got that track position late in the race, all right? Then nobody could pass him on the last 2 restarts, okay? So, I mean, he's leading. We get, I think, Jones wrecks. We get a restart, nobody can pass him. Then we get Stenhouse wrecking out of turn 2 on the white flag, nobody can pass him. Takes his window net down, nobody can pass him. So we're not like, for me personally, Ryan Blaney's not a target I really want to focus on this week. I want to focus on people who have shown speed and who have been the fastest people on the intermediate tracks this year. And who has that been? I know you don't want to hear this. Everybody gets mad. Everybody just gets shocked. They act like Martin Truex Jr. is just a washed guy. Like, why are we still playing Truex? He's not even that good. Truex has had a terrible year. He doesn't even want to race. Excuse me? My boys, my guys, my gals, whatever you are, whatever you identify as, have we not noticed where he's running every week? Have we not noticed where Kyle Busch is running every week? Kyle Busch is washed too. No. I mean, these guys are here on intermediate tracks, all right? When we look at Kansas specifically, yes, Kyle Busch ran into issues, okay? But who was up there? It was Denny Hamlin. It was Martin Truex Jr. When we look at William Byron, ran top 4 speeds. Bubba Wallace, Alex Bowman. These were the guys who were fast at Kansas, okay? We continue to go back and look at intermediate tracks. Who was fast at Darlington? It was Hamlin. And I apologize. I'm trying not to cough, so I'm still just, like, chugging down cough drops like it's a drug. But when we look at Darlington, Hamlin, fastest car. Christopher Bell, 4th fastest car. Kyle Busch, 2nd fastest car. Martin Truex Jr., 8th fastest car. Oh, but they didn't finish the race. Their motors blew up. What are we doing? I understand. Okay, like, this Texas race is going to be 500 miles. That might be an issue. Am I going to project? Well, first, I'm not doing projections, but would I worry about Kyle Busch or Truex blowing a motor? No. What are we talking about? Why are we even worried about that? I don't know about how you guys look at this stuff, but, like, I'm looking at guys who are going to race well. If they have mechanical issues, if they blow motors, if they wreck, like, whatever the case is, oh well, I lose. Like, my line doesn't cash, okay? Like, let's not avoid good plays due to a possibility of them, like, blowing a motor or something. Like, Hamlin, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, Truex Jr., great plays. We even continue to go back through the season, early around, like, the May, the April area when these guys are absolutely killing it. Who was there late? Who was there all day at Charlotte? He started on pole, didn't lead any laps, like 4 to go, but Hamlin was up there all day. Truex was up there all day. Kyle Busch was up there all day. Once we start going, and we're seeing Chastain carry consistent speeds. Oh, but Chastain's going to get wrecked. How'd that work at Bristol? Like, nobody's wrecking these guys. Like, people don't just take each other out. With the Toyotas, top 10 speeds. Kansas, the first Kansas race. Who was able to show speed the first time they were there? Who was able to show speed the second time they were there? The Toyotas. Kurt Busch wins that race. But Hamlin, top 10 car all day. Kyle Busch, 2nd fastest. Truex Jr., 6th fastest. Christopher Bell, 4th fastest. I think your primary guys that you should target this weekend are probably 2 Toyotas. This race can very easily, yes, I think it'll lead to a 3 lap leader type of optimal line. But if one of those lap leaders gets taken out, then we see more of the mid-range, place differential plays come through. Would I personally want to build that way? I don't really want to. I want to try and just focus on getting lap leaders and stuff. And I think the first part of that is focusing on JGR, understanding that most likely 2 of those guys are going to be optimal. I don't think that's crazy to think. Do we have a Hendrick guy kind of sneak in as the 3rd lap leader? Possibly. Do we have, like, Chastain squeak in as the 3rd lap leader? Possibly. But I think that is probably the way you would go. Trying to get in 2 JGR cars, and then whatever Hendrick car looks the best. Or at least using a primary lap leader pool of Hendrick and Joe Gibbs. I think that's the way to go about it. That's just me. When we look at guys who are underpriced, Kyle Busch, $10,000. I think he's wildly underpriced. Truex Jr., $9,800. I think he's wildly underpriced. I think Hamlin, Larson, Elliott, Bell, all good price. But I think you should play Truex. I really do, man. I've been on him all year. That's not just me being like, he's going to win sometime. I'm not going to get off my hill until he wins. He's been up there. He's been an absolute stud all year. Just hasn't put races together at the end. Run into issues. Bad pit road strategy late in these races. I can't control that. So, yet again, Truex Jr. at $9,800, the cheapest of the Joe Gibbs guys, I think you should play him. I think he's a fantastic play. When we start looking down at some of the 9K guys, I think Chastain is underpriced at 9.2. This guy has been consistently fast. When we look at the span specifically earlier in the year, Dover, Darlington, Kansas, 1 in Charlotte, a top 5 car in each of those. When we look at speeds and we look at where these guys were, second best at Dover, third best at Darlington. He wrecked out Darlington, but he was the third best. Kansas, 5th best. Coca-Cola 600. He was the best car in Coca-Cola 600. That's just how it is. All right? Ran into issues at Darlington. Just didn't have, the car. But nobody really did. Nobody was passing at Darlington a lot. Until late in the race, people started blowing motors. People started blowing engines and stuff. But still, a top 10 car recently at Darlington. When we look at Kansas, top 7 car. I think Chastain is drastically underpriced. Okay? Byron, Logano, Harvick, probably going to lean more on practice data for these guys. None of these guys really stand out to me right now. I think Bubba has a good chance of being a guy who starts in the top 10, who can maintain running position in the top 10 all day. We've seen it before that he's run up top. He finally has one win in NASCAR. I think that's really good. He finally won a race. It took him a very long time, but the win at Kansas, congratulations on finally winning a race, Bubba. That was a good job. I would not be shocked if Texas plays out very similar to Kansas, to where you kind of get the lead based on pit road. I'm not saying he didn't have a fast car, but Bubba showed speed in practice, qualified up front, was able to take the lead on pit road, and never looked back. You're not passing at Texas under green. I hate to tell you that. Look at that All-Star race again. We didn't take notes on it because it was kind of a farce. There's nothing to really learn about it, in terms of what transpired. But when you look specifically at restarts, nobody could pass. It's not even a one-groove racetrack, man. You just can't pass at all. So it would not shock me if Bubba's a guy who can perform very well this week. At $8,600, I like that. Alex Bowman, I think he's a bit underpriced. Alex Bowman and Bubba Wallace, probably my 2 favorite plays in the 8K range. Probably right after that, it would probably continue to go down the lane right down the line of Suarez and Jones. But when we're looking at building lines, when we're trying to fit in as many lap leaders as possible, or people who can at least take advantage on pit road and maintain a top 4 running position, and then possibly get the lead later in this race, it's people like that. And even when we kind of goof around and you get an idea or you get a feel of how maybe you want to build lines, I think it's very easy. Let's use Truex Jr. and Bubba Wallace, okay? We're clicking off recent speed. We're clicking off probably the best team, Toyota as a group, okay? We're clicking off guys who are very, very easily affordable, okay? Truex at 9.8, Bubba Wallace at 8.6, Let's just use Hamlin for an example. He's the most expensive, but you could very easily use the example with Kyle or Bell or whatever. But say you go Truex Jr., Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin. I think that's a fantastic way to start builds. I think that can very easily rival a lineup that has 3 guys in the 9K range or higher. At that point, and we're actually back at a race. I understand we don't have a gigantic ton of laps, but for the first time in a while, we have men's salary again. We're at $4,500 for Garrett Smithley. We're excuse me, $4,600 BJ, $4,700 Ware. I understand it's not Bristol, but when we start looking at, what if this guy blows the motor? What if this guy blows the motor? Well, we can't project that, okay? We can't project who's going to have issues. We can, however, project that there'll be some teams that get screwed over by having damage that they can't repair. Secondly, I haven't heard anybody talk about this real fast. Have you guys noticed that these teams seem like, hey, let's not just throw our drivers out there in a dangerous vehicle. You can argue this with Ryan Blaney. But ever since they updated the DVP policy from 6 minutes to 10 minutes, man, it's wild how many cars just like don't end up getting fixed. It's almost like when you don't have a gun to the back of your head to get the car back out there, you can be like, yeah, we're not going to get this car fixed. Just take it behind the wall. Put it in the garage. It's wild. Everybody's like, oh, but you can repair these cars in 10 minutes now. Yeah, but if you can repair it in 6 minutes before, you're not repairing it in 10 minutes, all right? We've seen that ever since it was implemented, going back to Darlington up until now. Look at how these cars are being worked on. Look, when they head down pit road, we're not having guys, miraculously survive these crashes because this car is a piece of shit. You're just not able to survive those crashes. You're not able to repair those crashes. And so when we get to the min-salary guys, if we're at least going to say, okay, we're going to have some people run into issues at some point in this race, whether somebody gets turned because you can't pass, whether somebody blows a tire, blows a motor, whatever the case is, we can project Smithley, BJ, and Ware to gain positions, to be there, to survive, be an adversity play. Last week is an example of that. I understand we're not going to have like 15 cars not finish the race, but look, Ware, BJ, Ware finished fantastic. BJ did well. JJ Yaley ran into an issue early. Had damage early, went multiple laps down, still beat tons of people. Okay, these men play. You're not losing like last week or even this year. You're not your lineups aren't losing because of Cody Ware, because of BJ McLeod. These lineups are not cashing if you're playing those guys because you had a guy get wrecked out who was a projected lap leader or something like that. Okay, so if we can just stop hating the men's salary guys and the true punt range, I'd appreciate that. Getting back up to the 7-8K range, kind of building upon the build that I kind of gave, say like a Truex Wallace Hamlin type of build, or let's even be kind of more aggressive since you guys don't like Martin Truex Jr. since he's washed up. Let's say you go Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, and Denny Hamlin. It leaves you $6,700 on the table. All right, regardless of who you use at the bottom. When we look at the 7K range, I don't think I'm going to be getting to much Chris Buescher. I don't think I'm going to be getting to much Austin Cindric. I just don't think I'm going to be getting, and I don't think there'll be a lot of builds that kind of lean towards Chase Elliott. Once we get to Dylan Gibbs, Almirola, I can kind of see getting to one guy in that range, but really for me, 7K range is just not the priority spot, just not the spot I kind of want to end up on, not the spot I really want to build with this week. I think Keselowski's a very interesting play. $6,800, most likely because of how Texas is going to run. If he can show us top 17 speed in practice and qualify up there, which we're seeing, a lot of people don't remember that RFK swept the duels, so everybody's acting like, Buescher's win came out of nowhere, but we're seeing a steady progression. We've seen that Buescher has carried more and more speed throughout the year. We're seeing that Keselowski, I understand it was a short track, but we're seeing that he's actually running slightly better. He was around a 20th place car, midway through the year. Even when we looked at the intermediate tracks, earlier in the year, 18th at Dover, ran into issues at Darlington, got wrecked. 15th at Kansas, ran into an issue, got wrecked at Charlotte. And when we look at this year and how he's ran, or not this year, but later in the year, we have him, being a top 15 car at Darlington. And the second time he was there. 22nd at Kansas, like to see a bit more improvement there, but we're seeing a consistent improvement, or we're seeing a little bit, we are seeing consistent improvement, but we're seeing, he's getting better and better as he goes along. I think Keselowski's a good play. Stenhouse is on the same boat. We need to understand that at intermediate tracks, it's where this team is performing better at. Okay, he wrecked at Darlington, ran into issues. Okay, so what? 18th best car at Kansas. That's what we want to have. We just need you there. We don't need you getting lapped. We need to just take some advantage of some people running into issues, come away with like a 15th to a 13th place finish. I think Keselowski, I think Stenhouse make fantastic plays. Told you once, told you again, I can't figure McDowell out. This will probably be a race that he just wins. Who knows? I can never project McDowell for anything. So I just suck projecting what McDowell can do. I'll just keep missing on him, I guess. I think Custer's a bit overpriced. Greg said depending on how far back he qualifies, he is going to be a place differential play, but I'm concerned that he is probably going to finish around like 24th. to 22nd as like a ceiling. Don't think I'm going to get to him. Probably won't get to Justin Haley, Harrison Merton, Ty Dillon, Todd Gillen. Choose whoever projects out the best for either of these guys. That's going to be purely based on projections, maybe not necessarily the place differential, but just whoever projects out better for their price there. I'm not playing Corey LaJoie. I will most likely not play Castle, where BJ and Smithley will be designated on who I think provides the most upside or most salary relief for your lines. So, want to make this, wanted to do something since I'll be on the road, but want to at least give my opinions of where I'm probably going to do like 2 lines or something. We'll figure it out. I'll most likely be building them on the fucking road. So if you see me going down the road at any point in Texas, just run my ass off the road. And make it to where I just don't get out of the vehicle. Like if you see me, just run me off. I don't want to survive the crash. Okay. Past that, I'll probably just be building like a line or something, following like practice on like Saturday, maybe at a truck stop, whatever the case is. But that's where I'm at. Whoever I see more upside in terms of the punt range is probably who I would go with. I think Texas is going to be a lap turner. I can't wait to just... Well, actually, I won't see it, but I can't wait to just have everybody be like, oh, Texas sucks. This track sucks. Okay, it does. But every track sucks this year. Okay, this car sucks. All right? I don't know where, everybody in the media still on their knees just thanking NASCAR for this next-gen car. I'm so sick and tired of hearing, oh, but look at all the winners we've had. And this is not, this kind of built on Pearce's rant, but I was going to do it anyway. Coming off of, Buescher win at Bristol, everybody's like, oh, wow, look, everybody's winning this year. This is so great. No, it's not. What are you talking about? These bums are only winning races because all the top contenders are being taken out for reasons outside of their control. Okay, when we look at every single winner this year, it's a bunch of bums. Austin Dillon, Daytona, the whole field died. Okay, Bubba Wallace, Kansas, nobody could pass him. They played the game right on pit road. Chris Buescher won Bristol because everybody died. Every competitive car was taken out. When we look at Watkins Glen, Kyle Larson wins. That's fine. Harvick, Michigan, had a great day at Michigan. Richmond won the race with strategy. Okay, we had good contenders get taken out in that race. People who weren't able to be there at the end. When we look, just go through this entire field. Just go through all these winners. Okay, do you want to start at the very beginning this year with Alex Bowman? Taking advantage because other people got taken out. Other top contenders got taken out. What about Phoenix? And Chase Briscoe won the race on pit road because nobody could pass. That's all we're seeing this year. So Texas, for me, screams like a race that the car that should win isn't going to win due to pit road strategy, due to something. That's just kind of what it screams to me. I was going to go on much more of a rant, but I don't want to waste too much of your time. Thank you very much for being here and listening. You can still message me on Discord and Twitter. I will be checking that stuff. You can email me as well, but if I don't respond to you very quickly, it's because I'm on the road. Okay, but so I just want to make this out there, give you some content, and I got 2 supercuts coming out this week. Actually, I have them just set to upload on Monday or something, because I got to clear out this hard drive because I don't even know if this computer is going to survive the trip over. So I'll be uploading 2 of those probably on Monday or something. The All-Star reactions video and the video for the Indy 500, for the Coke 600, for the 2 Daytona races earlier this year. But that's all I got on the docket, and I will see you guys for Talladega. And I can't wait to make the return there, because we all know we love some wrecks. I hope we get some wrecks at Talladega. So I will see you guys next week. Thank you very much for being here and still supporting me, and I will see you guys later.